Hi Stitchy friends, this is Heidi, Stitching Faith, back with another Flosstube, and today is November 1st, 2025. Yesterday was the Halloween Eve. I hope you guys had a wonderful Halloween, trick-or-treaters and celebration. My neighborhood doesn't get a lot of trick-or-treaters just because we have retired people living and they don't decorate the houses and stuff. They don't turn on the lights, so the kids usually choose a neighborhood that they can go at least few houses, not one. So our neighbors' kids came in and knock on the door. We talked. Other than that, like most of the day, I just made bread. My kids went with their friends, my son with his friends, my daughter with her friends. So I was home alone stitching and making bread. That's another thing I start doing it. I'm enjoying it. I'm still learning, but it's really fun. So I was watching a couple of videos. I just start watching Carol's Saltbox Stitchers. Hi Carol, love her videos. I was so excited, and she kind of got me into. I was watching her video. I'm like, okay, I can make my own too. Even though it hasn't been that long since my last video, but I have a lot to show as an update video, because in between I had my last video was not update video. It was more of a show and tell for the Halloween slash autumn. Since then, I have a lot of finishes and a lot of whips since my last whip update. So I'm gonna start with finishes. I had quite a bit older patterns that I decided finally to work on. I was going through, like, instead of buying new pattern, there are a lot of cute ones. I decided for me to do it, I need to work on my older ones. And because it's Halloween is only this much time, like couple of weeks, 2-3, that I am in a mood, I chose two older Halloween patterns that I have, and I worked on them until I finish it, because this designer, if I start and I don't finish it, because it requires so much, I'm not going to show the pattern, but it requires for this tiny design so many flosses and beads. This one didn't have a bead, but usually specialty stitches and stuff, after halfway I stop, I put it with my whips. And I have one just now, it's 2 years old, the Liberty one that I need to pick up. So that's why I decided if I'm gonna start to finish, and that's exactly what I did. Batty, Hattie, and Boo, I want to say I have this pattern for 15 years. Yeah, 15. And I had it kitted up, and I had the specialty, the bead. So everything was already kit up. I think one of my kids are waking up. It's early morning. So I just started it and worked on it until I finished it. It's on, I do believe, 28 or 32 count, cream color linen. It's Quaker base. And I have a finish. So this is the hardest row to finish it, and the pattern, I usually like to start from the bottom, but the pattern says I have to start right from here. And because you count from here, you know, all the rows, there's a lot of specialty ones, specialty stitches, like Levitian with back stitching. If this one is Levitian with back stitching, it has a lot of quarter stitches, back stitches. I think this is the only pattern so far from Just None that does not have any 1/1, but it makes up with all the specialty stitches. This spider is realistic. It creeped me out. She is so cute. She is tiny. Like I said, so many flosses, so many small details this part, that once I finished that, the rest was easy. This one is just back stitching. It looks amazing, but it's the actually easiest one. Like these cats, and this one are easier. She's the cutest bat lady. Oh, I did change the color for the frogs. The color of the frogs were close to this part. Actually, it's called the same color as this green, but I thought like, and the eyes were 1/1 with the black. They were kind of blending in, so I got a little bit brighter green for the frogs. That's the only change. No, I did actually anchor. I work with the anchor floss instead of the DMC. So anyways, it's a mixture of colors that I have, but it's in the spirit of the pattern. And I'm done. So this one and a couple more I'll show later on. Oh, I did not bring it. Never mind, I won't. I'm trying to find finishing either finishing stuff or frames, or I'm trying to finish them, fully finish them, but so far I had no luck. Last time I was walking around with my patterns in my hand, and I kind of got embarrassed. People were looking while I was trying to take out my stitching and measure the frames and stuff. The second one is again just none. Ghostly Gals. Again, I think this was a reprint. It's been printed before. The other one is 1993. I don't know if it's a reprint, but this one, a couple of years ago, 123 Stitch had it available again, so I got it. It only has this charm. I stitched on 36 count. So the charm, the way you were supposed to attach is stitch this part and attach it to the door. But because it was so big for the 36 count, the suggested fabric was 28 count. I had to, with invisible thread, stitch through it. Like if you look in real life, you will see it. But this way, I don't think people will pay that much attention, especially when the door is gonna be halfway closed. I do want to frame this, even though it's small. It's not gonna be pillow. I already made that decision. The hardest ones were those frogs. Again, I changed the color because frogs have backstitch too. And a 1/1 eyes, like the cats are 1/1. This one surprisingly had so much stitching. It was challenging. Like the eyes are quarter stitches backstitch, but they are not full backstitch. It's like a 1/1 backstitch. It has a lot of tricky stitching. So the skeleton is just comes out Halloween, then we can close it. I like this one for the charm. I thought it's charming, and the whole thing, it was fun. But honestly, if I left it, I would have had this whip for next 4 or 5 years. So this is start and finish. So you guys have not seen this pattern as a whip, because before my video I did not have this as a whip. The third one, you guys seen it as a whip. It's with a needle and thread, Quaker snippets #1, and I was right. She did come out with the winter the way I was guessing, and she's gonna have, I think, summer and so autumn, winter she already has out. So summer, spring and summer, I'm assuming they're both gonna be. So I did not keep up with the one with the swans. She had the seasons. I do have all 4 of them, but I did not stitch it. So once I did not keep up, so as they came out, I wasn't able to finish them, or at least stitch them. This one, so far I'm caught up. So I have the autumn, and I did order the winter. Once it comes, I'm gonna work on that. But yeah, it's very pretty. I know it's a Shanta 141 design company, 6x6 trademark display board by 141 design company. I'll see how much it is. If it's affordable, I'll get it. If not, I'll try to go Michael's and see if I can get a board. But I think I might just get 141, and because it says Brenda Gervais back of it said. So anyways, I'm not gonna finish this one right now because our season is already over. But I do have finished the pattern. So it's stitch on 40 count, winter's brew, 1/2, called for colors, and I have worked. I had a oopsie with the color, reading the color, so I have the more gray owl and acorn compared to rest of you guys. And this one is a really old skein. It's called for, but my skein I had is probably 5-6 years old, so leftover, so it's darker. Other than that, everything is called for. And variegated flosses, they do have the way the fabric you choose, the way you stitch it do. I have seen it, even if it's all called for, it looks different with different people because skins already have different variegation and the stitching style. Some people go up and down, some people go this way, some people go across one X at a time. So it does give different feelings for different way of stitching. Like I go like this, row by row. I do like a sewing method, even with the variegated, unless it's a very big portion, then I don't do it, or it's super variegated, like the floss goes from red to white or green, you know, the colors change dramatically. But if it's like a soft variegation, I go sewing method. I know the correct one is one cross at a time, but sometimes I need to have I don't have the patience. So this is finish number 3. So I have a very old pattern that I finally finished, and it took me only a couple of years. I started 2022. I do believe around the time that I started my Flosstube, or no, before, never mind. But I did finish the Shimmering Mermaid. I finally found the picture and the pattern and the envelope. They were all over them, they were all different places. The envelope was somewhere else, pattern was somewhere else, the picture was somewhere else. So Shimmering Mermaid, and I work with the Fiberlicious fibers. Stephanie, that's what I want to say. 32 count plain, or once in a blue moon. So since I said so many times, since I've been working on these patterns for so long, I needed to wash. I usually, fancy ladies, I do not wash, but this case I made an exception to wash, and the fabric did bleed. But luckily, I was kind of suspecting that. I washed with the soap that you use for quilts, and it hold on well. So even though fabric bled, it did not go through my, like, especially the face area. I thought she's gonna get a little bit blue. It didn't. The only place is little bit got the blue highlight is here. No, hinge of blueness is this part. But overall, I could not wash it because she was out. She's been traveling with me, and she was dirty. The most important part, her face did not get blue stain. Shimmering Mermaid. and she is done. Wow. So what I can say is one of them, even though people say the newer patterns are harder, it's more confetti, like more challenging. I'm gonna say I have been stitching Mirabilia since 2004, 5, 2002. I discovered it. I was stitching one at a time, but like I was stitching a lot. So I have like 40 or 30 finished Mirabilias, a lot of them framed. So I'm not a novice when it comes to this designer or her style of designing or stitching them. This young lady challenged me. Even though everybody says older patterns are way easier to stitch, I have stitched a lot of older patterns and newer ones. In my 20-year Mirabilia stitching, she was the hardest one. I'm gonna be honest. It took me entire month to beat this girl. And because of her, I have not worked any other fancy ladies because I was determined to get her out of my whip list. She's beautiful. I'm glad she's finished, but I don't know, something about old, and every time I went back, I found some missing beads. And if you guys see it again, you can tell me. I can still correct it, but once I frame it, don't tell me. I know these two parts are supposed to be brown. They are golden. I'm gonna leave it. It's supposed to be strain of her hair, but somehow I did craning and I'm leaving that. What else? I ran out of the beads, golden bead. So some places I replaced it with, I was doing with the size 15 instead of cold 4, but I ran out. So I end up using the cold 4. So they are, or like the corners are consistent. Oh, I see a string over here. I have to fix that. The corners are consistent, but like inside over here, some are smaller golden ones, some are bigger. Oh, what else? This border, I'm glad I did it, but if I was going back in time and it's between finishing it or not, I would have just done the compass and just not stitched the border because counting was a beast. I love it. I'm not complaining. Love finishing, and it's gonna be one of my favorites. She always been. And finishing her was like a marathon run at the end. Like I really wanted to have at least one Mirabilia finish this year because I do stitch still fancy ladies. I don't show a lot. So in the future, I might just do a separate video for fancy ladies once in a while. If I have one finish, I'll show it, but I want to put them all in one video because it's easier for me, and the viewers who like fancy ladies, it's easier to see it. But yeah, now that she's finished, Lisa, hi Lisa, I just commented her video too. She's doing Nora November, and since she's done, I'm hoping I can work on some fancy ladies. Doesn't have to be Nora Corbett design, it can be Mirabilia, but I do want to like work and move on with the other ones. I talk too much about one design. I'll bring it closer. So I'm just showing it for a long time because it took me a long time to finish this young lady. All right, so let's see. Now let's go through what I worked on. I've been all over the place, a lot of patterns. I worked only like this one. I only worked for one evening, not even evening, like I picked up, I did one session of stitching and then I wasn't feeling it because it's a seasonal and I'm a seasonal stitcher. I'm trying not to be, but I am. But if I put a stitching on it, I'm gonna show. Scarlet House, Martha Evans, 1879. And she got the least amount of stitching. First I was debating if I should show, but I am. I'm working with the Seraphim fabric, 40 count, DMC mostly, and I do believe I changed the red and the green, the dark green. And it's old stationery, my favorite dark sampler, one of my favorite. So what I did is worked on the basket greenery, and I started working on the bird, and I was like, yep. But it's beautiful. It's one of those patterns, it's not calling me so far, but I think it will. Yeah, 40 count. So the colors change is the red and the green. The rest is called for DMCs. The cover photo, the called for colors, at least DMCs, were not exactly matching. Like this squirrel. Probably the picture is with hand-dyed flosses. It says, no, actually, called fors are Saralges, MPIs, DMCs, 103s. So it doesn't have hand-dyed. I think that's why I went with DMCs, because it has quite a bit of a list. Yeah. So, and I'm not going with the order, so if I say next, it's just a habit, but this is not the order I stitched. Oh dear. Where is it? Okay, let's go with this one. Bobbing for pumpkins with a needle and thread. I wanted to finish this, but the fabric, even though it says 40, I do feel like it's a 40 plus fabric. It's a dark color, but I think the dyeing process made it tighter. So it's a little bit slower going than I would like to, but I did start them. I'm almost finished with the second witch. That's all I worked on, and the bee. So if I can help myself, I wanna not carry over next year, because this kind of projects are the ones that, like, once I put aside, I forget. I work a lot of big projects. I put this aside and I forget about them, and yeah, I forget about them. And then my wood pile goes really big. Where is it? I think I did bring it. It's a PDF design, so I don't have a pattern. Sometimes I forget to put inside the basket. But Hello Game Board, I got as PDF the primitive needle. So I am working with my iPad. It is easy pattern, so I can read easily. The only thing I've noticed that I do have other PDFs, so I do know how they work. And with my PDFs, I can mark them. But this one was locked. So every time I try to mark it, my iPad would say you need to get a permission from the owner of the pattern to make changes. And it's not letting me mark off as I go. So I can read it off, but for future, I have to be careful. Her patterns are locked. So what it means, you can have the pattern, you can work on it, but somehow I cannot mark them. Compared to Hands Across the Sea, that I do have a PDF, 3 of them. It allows me to, like if I go the row, I can highlight it with a marker, iPad marker, and this way I can keep up with my, you know, I can keep up where I am. So this is a 2-color pattern. I wasn't that concerned. And actually, this is how I'm working on. So this switch is gonna be top there too, but I want to show this way. For my stitches to go correctly, I am doing like that. So even though the board is 8 by 8, I guess, she explained why she did 7 by 7. And I did use the colors I showed last time. The light orange was the scary one, but I thought it pops with the Havana fabric. This is the 40 count Vic's Dyework Havana old fabric base. But I think this was a hit, the orange color. The black I already knew it's gonna be. Oh, I'm moving too much. So I did work on this one. It was really fun. Again, if I can help myself, I don't wanna work on it next year. Where is it? No. Last minute decision. The only thing I did, put some makeup on my face, and I'm like, okay, let's start. That's why I'm all over the Cricut collection. I'm going my favorite. I started from my favorite, so I'm going like this. So if I start middle, I know I'm gonna stall. So this time I did E. This one I know is gonna go on a break because I'm already feeling the winter stitching. So, but I have enough that when I pick up, I'm not gonna feel discouraged. I finished the cat and everything here. I put some leaves. I think over here some has loose leaves too. I have not yet. The way I work is 36 count ale is 2/2, except when I purchased the silk, I didn't have enough. So the silk, I'm doing 1/2. The rest, the DMCs, I'm doing 2/2. And most of it are called for, except 1 or 2 colors I might have to brighten because of the fabric color. It might be the called for. I don't know. Another one is a winter stitching. Kathy Merrick, Quaker Christmas stocking and sampler. I am doing the stocking, not the sampler. I'll stitch it, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish it. There is the stocking, the way they designed it, it says the lines and it says a direction, but I haven't even done small stocking. No, I have done it, so. And I'm doing with the MPI silks. When I saw this last year, I think came out, I love the colors, and I did especially love the MPI colors. So I already knew I wanted to stitch with called for. And it's a 40 count hog bristle fox and rabbit. I do not think it's the called for fabric, but I thought it works wonderful. Basically, mostly I worked this one, these trees, the snowflakes were here, and I went and came over here. So I am doing these 2 stitches because they are Quaker, and I don't trust myself. I don't want to like go even 1 stitch this way. So I'm going down, I'm counting. I'm gonna take off this stitch later on, but I want to keep in, make sure, because there's the motifs, they are not attached to each other, the Quakers. I don't want to like go off. So for my sake, make sure it's not, I'm not coming out of the line. I am doing basting stitch. Really pretty. So quite a bit, this much work has been done. It is calling me, but let's see how much I'm gonna be able to do it. It just, there's so many I have already. Let's see. Oh, this one. Oh, should not show the pattern. Hands Across the Sea samplers, letters from Europe box, red box, and it is the Italian sampler. I am working with the code for Saralge, and I already have 2 skeins, but I have a feeling I'm gonna need more than 2. I noticed that these ones are not as long as like if I use the MPIs. So when you use Saralge, you might need more with those silks. They are beautiful. I'm still gonna use it always, but something to keep in mind when you're using that silk. The skeins are smaller. I think that's what I want to say. I think last video I was talking about the reflector soie. The pattern I finished it was asking 6 Saralges, but with the 2 skeins of hand-dyed silks I finished the other sampler. So this area, I want it to go all the way. This is the corner. I want to go all the way and have my parameters. It is 40 count scrumshaw by Cedar River linen. It's a very soft color, neutral. Works really well with the red one. And yeah, I'm working this way and I'm gonna meet up. So far I counted it and they should meet up correctly. 1/2, 40 count. Then I was feeling new start. So I do have a couple of new starts and restarts. A restart. Elizabeth Duff Curtain, Hands Across the Sea sampler. I got this as a kit. I'm not sure if it's exclusive or not, but I got as a kit from Hobby House. I might just got it as a kit, but it's not. Doesn't say exclusive. And I got with them, like I said, Saralges. I do love the Saralges, even if, no, you know what? It might be exclusive because don't they do this for exclusive only? Oh, that was a noise I didn't realize. So I had this one of those cards that Kitten Stitcher sends when you purchase from her shop. And I just put the Saralges. This is how I'm working on. It's gorgeous. The colors, they are very luscious. But this is a small design. I do think I can use this color palette. Not all of them, but most of them for this one. So I'm keeping her with these flosses. To continue working with them. I finished everything. The house doesn't need any more stitching, so I just need these front steps and move on from there. And this is the biggest, heaviest stitch for this design, so it's pretty easy stitch. After just nuns, I did need a like I skip around, like when I do beading, then I want a simple stitch. If I'm doing a lot of back stitching designs, I'm looking something that I can feel, and this is the biggest heaviest stitch is this one. The rest are just plug-in. I'm not saying I'm gonna finish it this year, but it's like there are days that it's hard to think. These patterns work great. So afterward, I was excited and I was thinking of, okay, I'm doing good. Let me just pick up another, after I finish the Shimmering Mermaid, go to my pile, see what else I can finish. So I picked up this one, Sister's Love from Winds of Autumn. My booklet is broken, ripped, but that's okay. So I was stitching and I had R&R fabric, very pretty one. And I started from the middle and I have stitched it before. I was using everything middle over here, and I stitched everything. When I came here, this one was not fitting and I could not find a mistake. I didn't remember because I did not put a note for myself. I did not realize I had a huge mistake over here. Without realizing it, I put, and those are all eyelets. This pattern has a lot of eyelets. So this bird was here, like it had 2 branches instead of 1. And from there, like this flower was way up here. So nothing was matching. And ripping off eyelets, it rips off the fabrics. So what I did, I cut down the whatever I stitched, and either that or I was gonna throw it away. I hand stitched this. Let me see if I can show the branch that I made a mistake. And not this one. This is the branch I made a mistake. Do you see it? It's supposed to have like this much is extra. The bird was supposed to stand here, not there. So I went branch, then I did the bird. And from the bird, I counted all those eyelets. So there was no way I could have finished it. So either that or I was supposed to throw this away. I did a very silly strawberry. I had a lace, black lace, somehow from somewhere. I had a cording, store-bought cording, and got this out of it. So it's fully finished, but I do love the pattern and I did not want to give up on it. So I restarted it. The same corner, but this time I didn't start from the middle, I start from the corner. And I'm doing the DMCs. The only thing I'm changing is the blues. I'm brightening up. The DMC version says 9:30, but I'm going lighter, 7 something. And so I have, but this time to make it a little bit different, I did change the fabric color. My previous version was more Halloween-y, autumny. This is it's still autumny colors, but it is way lighter than this one. But like if I have to display it, if I frame this, I can put this right next to it. Somehow I can coordinate them. I did that much because I really wanted not to give up on this pattern. But then I realized that I was done with that pattern because of the mistake. But the colors are autumny. So I picked up this book, When the Leaves Fall. I don't wanna close the page that I'm gonna show because, and I did. And I finally, after 3 years of showing this pattern that I want to work on, I'm working on it. The colors, ironically, I have all of them or most of them, but they were not the colors that look like this. I did pick up the lighter fabric. So do you see how the sweet potato, which is the pumpkin, looks over here? My sweet potato and the cold for this corner, they were matching. So I left the cold for floss for the highlights, but the inside I went really light. Contrast, the red bricks, I went darker, even though, like I said, this is supposed to be the same. I went darker. This one was this cold for color, but it was really light for me. So I went hand-dyed floss, but a little bit. I'm stitching right now, so that's why you guys see this. And for this Palomino, that funny name that I had a whole kerfuffle, Palomino, yeah. I changed to Tarragon. I do have a Palominos, but I thought the Tarragon works good. So it also asks for Palomino, which is not green. So I'm thinking of going with Tarragon because it has green in it. But for the stars, I'm not gonna use this orange. I am gonna use the sweet potato, which is called for sweet potatoes? No. Cognac, Havana, what is it? That one, yeah, sweet potato. So I am gonna use the sweet potato for the stars. So I think 4 or 5 stars are sweet potato on 2 of the leaves. I am gonna use the cold for, I only changed for the pumpkin. So that's that. So in between, I was losing my stitchy bag and getting back, still losing stitchy bag, getting back. So what I did was go to Amazon, and someone did show these patterns. I got this. So last video I did show, it's over there, I forgot to bring it. Next time I went to Amazon, it has a suggestion box. And it goes like, hey, if you like that, what about this? So those are wool applique patterns. No, not wool. Felt, excuse me. See, I'm jumping around. I do want to do wool, but I want to practice applique. That's what I want to say. But I don't want to practice on wool. And also there's one quilt that I want to really work on if I ever do a quilt, is the Blackbird design and the birds, the Halloween one, midnight ride, I think. It's old pattern, but it's available, but it's very expensive, especially if you kit it up. And it has a lot of applique. I'm not saying it's the same, but for me to practice, I'm okay to practice something that I won't feel bad if I mess up before I work wool appliques and stuff like that. So I picked this up and like they take 40 minutes each one. I did this one, although I need to attach better this sequence. I'm going order, it says to stitch, and gingerbread cookie. And I'm gonna display it the same way that the website suggests, which is plain colors. It shows in a white tray, like a cake tray. You just put the cookies on it. I'm gonna try to display the same way for Christmas. And there's 12 of them. Easy. Easier than the pumpkin one. Pumpkin was my first one, but this is way easier. So yeah, I did that. It's still a craft, right? So after that, I think that's all. 45 minutes, yeah. So what I'm gonna show is a couple of things, not everything, that I got. And I got this from the thrift shop. Husband and I were going Pasadena, old Pasadena, and we found the antique shop. This antique shop had kind of cute stuff. Not everything is old, but I got these Santas. 1991 KA, I don't know. So this is like a booth. Every person who puts their stuff and sells it, I got from that booth. One of them is a Jim Shore. I think this one might be JS. It says JS. I think this one is Jim Shore. The rest are not. But I thought they were of the same style. I got this guy. And this guy. So I thought they kind of matched it, and she had them all displayed together. Thought they were cute. Let's put them this way. I don't want, they're wood. Then I noticed this one. This is like a candy dish. I guess I'm into candy dishes. I don't want to make a noise, but also don't want to break it. You don't want to. Then when I was in her booth, I saw this basket. It says, like, I thought it's cute, the pumpkin stem. I'm not very familiar with this company, but Long Bearer Basket, hand woven design, Ohio, USA. And it says 1995. I don't know, it looks clean. So I haven't done research yet. It does feel like it's antique shop. So at the back it says some wear and tear. So I'm gonna do research. I paid under 20 bucks. I'm hoping, even if I overpaid it, I think it's beautiful. Look at this, so cute. The lid alone is worth the price, right? So she had a 25% off on her booth. So everything I got from the thrift price, they took out 25%. So this ended up being like everything $18.99 or $19. So I thought it's worth it. It has some wear or usage. Long burger. I feel like I know the name. Longgaberger. So yeah, I got this one. I thought it was pretty cute. Let's see. From Kitten Stitcher, I got these two patterns while I was ordering this fabric, which is for Extrude Design Oil Green. I was gonna use for Halloween, but it came really late, so I'm not gonna use it this year, but I am. And I saw their Extrude Design Aged Grapefruit. I thought this one is good for Hands Across the Sea. I have in mind one design. And I got a couple of Teresa Kogut. I do believe it's her line of fabric. This and this are the same line except different color. Got this one. And those are pretty good for finishing, for baking fabrics and stuff. So I thought that's what it was. The rest is the, I already showed those. All right, I hope you guys liked what you see. Like and subscribe, and I hope I'll upload another video soon. Bye guys.